Welcome everyone to another radio-free Cybertron review. I'm your host Diecast. This review is sponsored by The Chosen Prime. Go to www.thechosenprime.com for all your transforming toy needs. This is Soar, which is Fans Toys, not Swoop. I would show you the packaging, but there was a note on it that said this packaging would self-destruct within 5 seconds after I looked at it and got him out of the box, and the box caught on fire and is gone. No, it, everyone knows that there is a mistake on the packaging that is going to be corrected on the next box. So I don't want to show off the packaging. I don't want to be the one to ruin anything for anyone. So here is Soar, and he is just absolutely beautiful and heavy. He has a lot of diecast in him and touching him, but his legs are diecast. His chest piece up here is diecast. The top of his arms are diecast. I think even his upper legs are diecast. This figure is mostly diecast. It's probably more diecast than plastic. Um, he just looks really nice. Bring him in for a size comparison. I'm so impressed with him. I would say his quality has definitely gone up, or Fans Toys quality has definitely gone up since Scoria. Scoria did have some issues, but it still looks beautiful. And just bring them in here as a size comparison. Try and push these guys back a little bit. You can see how they stack up, and they just look really nice together. The chrome on Soar is definitely a deeper gold, and it doesn't look like you can see the gold on my feet for Scoria are kind of tarnished a little bit, and I think that they were like that right out of the box. Um, the gold on this is just really nice. It doesn't even feel like it's gonna give me any problems at all down the line. The chrome wings are done absolutely amazing. They still have paint applications on them, and I'll bring that in and do. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself on this thing. I'm just really amazed. I did not expect him to be that nice. Um, just want to bring him in with Grimlock too. Try and get these big bots all in there. That's not going to work. So Grimlock's a little dusty, but you can see for a size comparison with all three in there. Grimlock is taller with the Fans Toys platform shoes that Scoria came with for him. Um, they just all feel really nice. And the only complaint I would have on this figure so far is that some of the stuff is a little bit too tight. Even on the heel pieces, there's a screw there. On the one foot, I pretty much took the screw out and it was still too tight. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. I think it'll loosen up over time. But also on these arm panels, where you open up to get the hands out, they are extra tight. So I loosen them a little bit, and when you do open these panels, you want to try and get in there as far as you can close to where it's going to open, or where that screw is to open it that extra bit if you need to get that open even more, just because it's pretty tight. And this is probably the first time I'm ever going to say this in a review, um, or any of the figures that I have, this feels better than what I would expect a Hasbro masterpiece or a Takara Tomy masterpiece to be. He's just really solid and really nice. Like, I can hold him by his leg. He's not even going anywhere. Like, with his weight, his legs should be opening up, and there was a little bit of noise when you open his legs, but that's just because the tightness of everything. He's just incredible. Just to bring in, give you an idea, he does come with a extra set of wings. A lot of people have seen him by now, seen pictures of him. They are, and he comes in styrofoam, so they're styrofoam. The styrofoam did not catch on fire, it was just the box. So, there's the wing fully extended. You can see it's almost the length of him, the one wing. Same thing as in terms of height. And they have double joints and everything, so they fold up really nice. And that's how they come in the packaging. So, again, I really like the chrome on this, and normally I don't like chrome, because you can just see, even with the chrome on Scoria here, it just doesn't seem as reflective as the chrome on Soar. So they've definitely made some huge improvements with this figure. Not that Scoria was bad. He definitely wasn't bad. He had a couple minor issues, um, but he's still a great figure. But they have definitely outdone themselves with Soar. And then a couple other things he comes with. He comes with that clear beak, which you actually have to remove the gold beak to put that on. I'm not going to do that, so it's just going to sit in the box. Has his light up sword. This has a little push button on here to the bottom to activate the light feature. There's 3 screws right there just to take that apart to put the batteries in. I'll let you know what batteries they take in a second. And then the last thing he comes with is the stand. You can see the stand here. It's just clear plastic, but it's pretty big. And then this just clips in to create the stand. And then this up top here does swivel or rotate however you want it. So once we get him into dinosaur mode, we'll bring that in, but you can also peg it in if you want with him in robot mode. Pegs in right underneath his waist, and it kind of can give him that flying look. And he's a pretty heavy figure, and this stand is holding him fine, so that's really nice. And his head can look up about that much. Fling his arms around. And there's Soar. I mean, yeah, this is definitely better than I expected. Even with how good Quakewave was, and I was kind of unlucky when I got Quakewave. Mine actually had an issue. One of the pegs on the legs was broken off, and it took a long time to get replacement parts for it. They sent out one part, and it wasn't right, and it just took forever for me to get my Quakewave Oh man, that's tight. My quick wave fixed. So he definitely does not have the same shoulder problems that Scoria does. Scoria can't even hold his own arm up most of the time. You can see I can just flick it down, and that's not the case on. You have to like hit his arm to go down. So, but anyway, God, I'm actually losing track of what I'm supposed to do because this figure's just so nice. It's just literally blown my mind. Um, so let's get Scoria out of the way. And we'll come over to Soar. Articulation head is on a ball joint and a little hinge for transformation. Does have the optional head swap. You just pull the head out, rotate it, and then you have half smile or cocky smile swoop. Missile launchers do come off. They just peg in. They have a handle that flips out. Just like that, so you can hold it if you want. I'm sure everyone's by now seen lots of pictures of him. His knee has nice ratchet, and then if you look in there, it looks like pistons in the knee when you bend it. Just the detail on this guy is, I would have to compare it to, and not that I own a Hot Toys product, but this is what I would expect if like Hot Toys did the Dinobots. It's just, it's that good. If this was a Hot Toys product and I paid $300 for it, this is what I would expect. I mean, he's perfect. The quality control on this must have been really good, or I just got lucky and I got a very, very good one. His legs do go out. They do swivel up at the upper thigh. These flaps can come up on the front and the back to allow him to kick out. He has a nice ratchet there, but you can only go back about that far. That pin just popped out, but they weren't popped in when I got him out of box. Neither were these. These hinges were not put down, but that doesn't really worry me. I mean, I've just, you know, if you know to be careful, make sure you check that before you start messing with this guy. That way you don't break anything. Arm is on a double joint, so he can fold it up pretty much all the way to his top of his shoulder. His hands are on a swivel. Rotation at the upper part of the arm. Arm goes out about, I'll move this out of the way. Arm can go up that far. Really nice range of motion on this guy. Same thing on this side. And then the wings can come back about that far. They can come out and in just a little bit. I kind of like them pretty much just almost on his back, maybe slanted out just a little bit. That's personally how I like to have Swoop's wings. So let's get into transformation on this guy. First thing you want to do is come up to his head and flip out these little pieces here. Trying to see if there's a good way to grab them. Might need to get my screwdriver. Just to angle them up a little bit. They open up. Line up Swoop's face. And then they peg in on the side of his head. Right there. On both sides. Just like so. And the head can actually pull up. Get that out of the way. Next thing you want to do is these chest pieces are supposed to come in just like that. There we go. I've heard people say you don't have to do it this way. You can just push the arms in and the center chest will go in with it. I'm not sure why they show this in the instructions to do this as a separate piece. And I think I am going to do it all as one just because it's given me a little bit of a hard time. I want to flip the hands in. Open up the panel on the back, flip in the hands, close that up. Do the same thing on the other side. Then you want to turn the arms so this painted gray piece, it's the only painted gray piece on the arm, is facing you. And then push the arm, collapse the arm up, and then you can push in the arms and it'll bring in those chest sections by themselves. Just like so. Then next thing you're going to want to do is come down to the legs. It says to disconnect these little leg hooks. Do it on both sides, on the inside too. And then disconnect that plastic gold piece. Same thing on the other side. It seems like once you disconnect that, if you kind of wiggle this just a little bit, that'll give you enough clearance to pop these gold pieces out. I know Optibotimus had a test shot of this, and he broke both of these tabs, or the tabs broke off on his, so I'm just trying to be extra careful with those, because what you don't want to do is try and bend this and put pressure on this, and if it bends forward, that'll break off. So now your legs are free and you can extend them, pull them down, and extend them just like so. Same thing on this side. And then I'm probably not doing this in order. Skipping around a little bit. Even that door panel has a ratchet, which is crazy. Flip the heel in on the foot. Just fold the foot in. Close that panel back up. Same thing on this side. Open that panel, flip the heel in, put the foot in, and then this actually sits on the back. You can see there's 2 holes right there that this foot will tab into. But you do have to make sure the leg is on the back and don't pinch your finger. Okay, so what was going on with the legs here, why I had to pause for a second, is they were just a little bit tight. What you want to do when you bend this leg around, you kind of want to hold it back here at that plastic piece just so the knee doesn't bend, and you actually bend it at this centerpiece. Then that comes around, and then that'll allow it to plug in to the back of the figure, and you'll feel it push in. It won't click in, but you'll feel that push. And you just come down to the feet. It tells you to pull the feet out, and when you do that, there's this little panel right here that you can flip out to kind of fill in the back of the legs, that's a nice little touch. You know, whether they needed to, that back leg's so small, I don't even know that they needed to do that, but they did. So just pull that down. Just meant to fill in the back of the feet. And then you can pretty much adjust the feet however you want. And he can even stand, which is pretty impressive with how heavy he is. He is starting to lean forward there a little bit, but if you can get him posed just standing. The only thing I did forget to do, he has a tail, and they tell you before you fold the legs in to flip that out. And the reason is it's harder to get to with the legs up. There you go. Can't have him missing his tail. And there you have Swoop. Bring in the stand real quick, and it plugs in right on the front. Real solid. Just bring the camera up for you. And this is in, of course, my recording area. And I would say that's a good 20-inch wingspan. His head has real nice rotation. He can look up and down. So you could get really nice poses with him. He's just so big. And of course his jaw does open and close, and even that's on a ratchet. And then there's nice detailing in here of like what a flamethrower. I think he also had a flamethrower in his beak. He's just really, really nice. Um, I would definitely pick this guy up if you have the means. And I said that on Twitter, and people are like, "Oh, I have a kid," and I'm not saying, you know, don't take care of what you need to. Obviously, this should always come second. But if you have the means to pick this up, this is definitely something you want to pick up. And I know this is in stock right now at the Chosen Prime. So just go over to that website or e-store and you'll be able to pick this up and it will get shipped out to you. They're definitely really fast with shipping. So again, thank you for watching and we'll see you next time.